Now, usually, there is no technology that comes into play without having some demerits. Okay, I mean, if we are to consider the demerits of the steam engine when it came within the first and the second industrial revolution, nobody will have a car today. Well, it's simply because we are able to overlook the demerits and look for ways to mitigate them. Now we have cars, we have generators, we have so many technologies that evolved from the steam engines of the first and second industrial revolutions. So of course the blockchain technology is not so pure without its demerits. But how do we solve it to make sure we benefit the most from it? We have the energy waste problem, we have the blockchain bloat, transaction processing speed, we have the transaction fee payment, lack of working product, and difficult adoption. The major, to some people, the best place to focus on is to enable an environment people would make use of the blockchain and they won't know they're using a blockchain. You'll be so used to your bank mobile app, you can send funds and receive funds. The same way it's possible that you make use of the blockchain technology, you won't even know you're using it, which is in the background. All you'll be seeing on the front end is just you operating your account, you make some transactions and you know it's faster. And of course you check the amount that was deducted as the transaction fee is so cheap. You won't know that you're using the blockchain technology, but what's according to the fact is that you are. So the energy waste, this is ascribed to the proof of work, proof of stake consensus algorithm, where it will take you several amounts of, in terms of kilowatt hour, as it likes, to secure the network, to do some computational mathematical, to solve some problems, which enables you to earn the block rewards or to mine, if I can put it that way. So to solve this, we make use of the proof of stake consensus algorithm, which means with as little as a solar panel of probably the higher education size and a Raspberry Pi, you can secure the node and earn block reward, or what's it called, blockchain reward. So my next thing, you earn blockchain rewards. So you can make a living from this without having to worry about Alright, I know. Moving on to the blockchain bloat. I was saying that every single thing that comes in the blockchain stays on the blockchain, which means we're talking about from kilobytes to megabytes of data to gigabytes to terabytes of data. And for you to be able to mine or forge, you need to have the entire blockchain database stored. I don't know about you, but there are some pieces that you see today and probably they have 128 SSD of storage. Or probably you got a memory card for 68 gig and the likes. There will come a time when your storage devices will be able to accommodate the blockchain database, and this poses a problem to blockchain adoption, which we call the blockchain bloat. We have the transaction processing speed, the transaction fee payment, the lack of working product, and difficult adoptions. Now we have addressed each and every single one of this. Because I'm told I don't really have much time left, so I won't be able to go into much details. But of course, you can meet me afterwards. We can talk more about this. Moving on, we have the technology in details. We have the proof of stake solutions, which is energy efficient, small hardware requirements, something you can even move around, and you'll be making your living. Simple to validate, theoretical criticism, and works well in practice for 5 years without any issue. We have the development platform, which is open API, Java add-ons, built-in flexibility and extensibility, reference implementation, and of course a very functional wallet. You just need to download the client and see for yourself. And the unique innovations, which include the pruning, which enables you to remove what has been confirmed on the blockchain to an external storage where you can easily carry out a snapshot eventually, which solves the blockchain bloat. So what has been confirmed for, let's say, a couple of years and it's hardly a reference to, can be removed from the blockchain, stored in an external storage. So let's say you're having a private blockchain this time around, so you can easily solve this within your organization using pooling method. Then sponsoring end users fee, which helps business to become user friendly and make it easy for people to transact without paying a single fee. And also we have the parent-child chain architecture. So the solutions we're offering to the token economy is the decentralized exchange. I recall part of the presentation that was made earlier, we're talking about decentralized and the decentralized exchanges. Well, this has been existing on the NXT platform for over 5 years. And of course, we have the loyalty point, the asset management. The point is, there is almost no limitation to what you can do on the blockchain. Well, not all the blockchain have all these features. We have them. So if you're thinking of carrying out the identity management, voting on the blockchain, document validation, integration of the IoT industry with the blockchain softwares, peer-to-peer marketplace, the cloud storage, and a host of other features, just tell us what you want. We provide you the solution, ready-made solutions, which make it easy for you to go straight to the market. We are the pioneers of the proof of stake, NXT since 2013, the first blockchain coded from scratch after Bitcoin. The first 100% proof of stake solutions using much less energy than the Bitcoin proof of work. 5 years of proven stability and security built in Java and rich in API. The other platform came just after the NXT with solutions such as reducing the blockchain bloat, increasing the scalability, and the ability to launch ready-to-use interconnected blockchain based on the solid and proven NXT technology for over 5 years. So these are the built-in features on the other platform. If you want to have encrypted messaging, if you want to have a series of account properties, data cloud, face transactions, a host of other features which I won't be able to go into much details. And of course, we have the Ignis chain, which has even a whole lot more features. You can just visit the website www.gelerida.com. You have most of these details captured there, so you can just read through and you have more information on it. So what do we offer? I've been working with the company for quite some time now, close to 2 years, and well, I would have loved to go into the history of how I joined the company. We have worked before then. Well, we'll talk about this in person since I don't really have much time. Oh, madam, do I have more time? Offer education, ideation, proof of concept, and pilot. So let's say you have an idea, or probably you work with a ministry or a private establishment and you think, well, they require a blockchain service, a blockchain software to upgrade what they are already offering to their customers. So we offer education, which means we educate you on what it takes, what you need to do. And of course, the ideation, the proof of concept, to develop these solutions for you on the testnet for you to see how it works. So then once you've confirmed it, you can then go on the mainnet with a full solution within the twinkle of an eye. So blockchain technology solutions, the learning services, the consultancy, and which are also what we offer in our office here in Lagos, already in Lagos, which we started a couple of months back, just to be able to bring the blockchain solution closer to you. So these are previous clients. Zenbit is actually here in Nigeria, and they are trying to offer what we call the decentralized exchanges, among others. Traffic. Well, we also have a representative from BitSwift, which is a Canadian-based blockchain solution. We have one of them here. Max Property Group is what we call the real estate on the blockchain. Basically, what they are doing is they make it easy for you to invest in real estate, and aside from that, to know the history of every single property you're occupying. Take it easy on me, please. Time's up. All right, so please do get in touch. We have our email, the info@gelafrica.com, the LinkedIn Gelerida Africa, and of course the website, the Twitter page Gelerida Africa. Well, you can just visit our office at plot 14A at the Wale Kolawole Crescent off TF Kuboye Road, Lekki Phase 1. And of course our booth is here, so you can easily take a walk after the entire session and let's talk. Thank you very much.
Thank you very much. Let's appreciate Mr. Adedayo from Gelerida. So all questions should be written and passed to us. We'll take all the questions together during the panel session. Right about now, we'll be calling up on our next speaker. He's a cryptocurrency and blockchain enthusiast as well as a serial entrepreneur. He is the current CEO of CI Crypto Solutions, where aside from their consulting services, he manages cryptocurrency solutions such as NigerPay and CI.com. Mr. Chiagozie Iwu, as he speaks on blockchain, improving liquidity and security for the financial markets. Please for him. Please keep clapping until it comes. Please keep clapping until it comes. DJ, thank you.
Mr. Ihu, thank you very much. Please have your seat. I'd like to do a very quick exercise. How many of you enjoyed the last session? How many of you enjoyed the last session? Okay, you, timekeeper. All right, thank you very much. I'd like to ask you a question. What did you learn? Did you learn anything about the last session?
Yeah, I learned a couple of things. I learned that the blockchain allows you to have like an history of, you talked about something before you left. You talked of Max Property Groups, a company that allows you to invest in real estate really easy. And he said what blockchain helps them to do is that you can see a history of any property you want to buy, and it makes your investment decision very easy. Yep.
Thank you very much. What's your name?
Victor.
Mr. Victor, thank you very much. Any other person? Hello, ma'am. How are you? Did you enjoy the last?
I tried to.
Okay, you tried to. Why? Done something?
I'm trying to relate. I'm just saying, I've heard about blockchain before, so I'm just trying to get educated more about it.
Okay, great. That's part of the second category that Mr. Adedayo was talking about. Okay, sir. Hello, sir. Yes. What did you learn about the last session?
Not much. I'm still learning.
Oh, second category, sir. Okay. So who are those that fall within the first category?
My name is Wisdom. So far I understand things about blockchain, but it also broadened my head that blockchain help you any third-party interaction. That is, you are in control of the data you store, and you can retrieve it at any point in time.
Thank you very much. What's your name, sir? Wisdom. Thank you very much, Wisdom. Okay, right.
Yeah, my name is Lillian Obichendo. I work for Infusion Lawyers, and from what I have learned here, I believe blockchain technology can also help lawyers with smart contracts and others. So I think it's also a good thing for lawyers also.
Thank you for that wonderful suggestion. Please tell your neighbor.
Chase. Who has ever bought a stock here before? Who? As if you've bought a stock. Interesting. So I want to make this a bit interactive. Can someone give him the microphone? All right.
Okay, so the person?
Yeah.
All right.
So what you just told me, how you bought the stock, what stock you bought, and the platform you used, basically.
Okay, so I had so I had a stockbroker.
Okay.
Who gave me a wide range of options, and then I was able to choose some. Of course, I was choosing based on expert advice from him. So.
All right. So you bought options. I'm going to guess is a U.S. option in the U.S. financial markets.
Yeah.
Okay. Good. Now, when you bought that option, right? Do you have any idea of what goes on in the background when you do so?
Well, I actually don't. I don't.
Okay, and possibly when you bought that option, you paid a lot of fees.
Yeah, I did.
In my experience in the option market, especially this retail brokers, it can go as high as 20%. If I'm not correct, good. So now, if I'm aiming to make 20% profit by buying that option, right? And I'm already paying 20% fee. Do I make a profit?
No, you won't.
All right, thank you. This is one of the cases I'll be addressing and how blockchain can eliminate that here. Okay, so basically, the financial markets is just basically a place where lenders and borrowers are connected, where financial security, every financial security here, whether it's stocks, bonds, any form of derivatives, debentures, whatever case may be, is just a document or a security connecting a lender and a borrower, taking funds from someone that does not need it to someone that needs it. Example, now I have 20 million, let's assume I have 20 million naira, hopefully. Let's assume I have 20 million naira, and what I need money for right now is like 10 million naira. Now, I have that money, but I don't need to use it. I don't need to use 10 million naira. Now, there is somebody out there that wants to start a business. There is a company out there that wants to expand. They will need this my money, but they don't know me, I don't know them. But I can go to the financial market and invest this money, and the third parties in the financial market will invest this money in the company. There are different securities used in doing that. So that's basically what the financial what is blockchain? A lot of people have defined what blockchain is today. So as I said, I don't want to go into things we already know, simple as to say, but there is one point I want to pick out in this definition that I will be using for proof record of transactional data. Now, I want to be talking about how blockchain improves the financial market. Now, what's an example, right? You say you bought an option and you have to pay fees that are very, very high. Why is it paying fees that are very, very high? As I say, there are some things that happen in the background that we don't know about. For example, let me give you like the breakdown of how a city is traded, what goes through. Now that broker, when you're saying that option is what we call a derivative instrument. An instrument backed by another instrument, meaning that you are not buying the value of that instrument. You are not buying, let's assume it's an option of Apple stock. You are not buying Apple stock directly, you're buying an option of Apple stock. An option, sorry, I don't want to go too much into financial technicalities, but for those of us that will understand, that have the financial background, an option is simply a contract with a different, in simple terms, with a different settlement date. You have the ability and immediately to settle that contract at a different date. So when you buy that or buying it to make a profit, right? For most people in the market, they do it to hedge risk. Now the broker is going to take that particular contract. He's going to go to what they call a central clearing house. Now it is in that central clearing house that option, like Apple stock, is held. You understand? You are buying the option. That option is not Apple stock, right? But that Apple stock has to be held. That Apple stock is a collateral to that option you're buying, right? So in that central clearing house, they hold that option, they hold that particular Apple stock, and that central clearing house also feeds another third party. You understand? That particular Apple stock to counteract the trade you made. Now you are paying, that broker is paying the central clearing house a fee. The central clearing house is paying that other third party a fee, and that is why your fee is extremely high. Does that make sense? Too many third parties, too many intermediaries. Like, does that seem like an efficient market? Does anybody think the market like that seems like an efficient market? It isn't. Thank you. It isn't, because you're paying an extremely high fee for what you're not supposed to. Why? Because institutions are controlling the trading of these assets. Institutions are what is giving. Our institutions hold a monopoly over the trading of such assets. So basically, you have this complicated process, but we have it. We have a solution to this. And it's what we've been hearing, and it's called the blockchain. Of course, we've talked about a lot of use case scenarios for the blockchain: healthcare, education, know your identity, and a lot of things. But how did the blockchain come about? How? A lot of people want to run away from that, but the truth is the blockchain came by as a result of Bitcoin. When Satoshi Nakamoto, he or she or they, whoever they are, of course, some people are claiming they are the ones. Nobody has verified. If you say you are Satoshi Nakamoto, simple, just move some bitcoins from the native wallet, right? From the original Bitcoin wallet. So, but everybody is claiming, but nobody has evidence. So, whoever they were, I suspect is a they, though, because you can't tell me one person did that. It's too good. Whoever they were, right? They devised the blockchain. They tried to come up with a financial solution, right? It was during the peak of the financial crisis. People lost money in the financial because of activities of these intermediaries I'm talking about. During the global financial crisis in 2008, it affected, in fact, I think the effect came down to even Nigeria. When you have these institutions play games with our money, the play game, we lose a lot of money. Somebody will have somebody will have $20,000 in his bank account, in his pension account, in his pension fund, and all of a sudden the money has halved. These are innocent people. These are human playing with this institution, and nobody held them liable. Nobody. They claim to have made some regulations, but the truth is nobody has been held accountable. We've had situations like that in Nigeria, where people, especially banks, play with our money and get away with it. It happened before the bank consolidation of 2003, where a lot of banks crashed and people lost money, right? Okay, of course they say that now that's impossible, but the truth is, if you take a deep analysis into it and look into what they call fractional reserve banking, you will know that banks are sitting on an eggshell. You understand? So these institutions, sorry if there is a banker or any financial regulator in the house, this wouldn't be a nice section for you because the truth is, as much as we think it is safe, like I asked the question, how are banks held accountable for data breaches that are now our fault? I've had a situation where my account was breached, and up to today I have not been paid back the money, but it was not my fault. It was not my fault. Oh, they are looking at it, it's a very small amount, but no, it might be very important to me. Imagine the woman selling a car on the street goes and deposits 10,000 and loses it because of a hack, and the financial institution not held liable. The truth is, they are not. I have not seen a proper situation where a financial institution is held liable, and please, people can bring examples. Thank you. Anyways, so what am I saying? The blockchain has given us a proper avenue whereby these financial transactions, for instance, I'm going to focus on what they call the OTC market, OTC derivative market, because that's a proper use case scenario. Because if you talk about the normal equity market, I think this life cycle can give you an idea whereby everything is recorded, share ownership is recorded on the blockchain, matched via an electronic venue instead of the matched and then executed by digital signature instead of the previous one where you just match and executed via an electronic venue, then validated via a consensus method. I think this is where it starts differentiating from the traditional method, right? You eliminate that third party. So instead of one institution validating and trying to make their mistakes and people lose money, we have a consensus method whereby it's recorded on the blockchain. Thousands of people validate, a lot of people validate this these transactions, like we have on the Bitcoin, although the Bitcoin network is a bit inflexible, but we have situations like Ethereum whereby decentralized application and smart contract could easily be built in, and we have a lot of potential for future blockchains to have this. So we have a situation whereby it's validated via a consensus method, auto-processed by the blockchain, and then reconciled to the blockchain. So everything is verified. Everything is verified on the blockchain. Everybody can see what is being verified. Every transaction can be called on at any moment. You don't need any financial institution to hold records. And do you know what happens in this situation? That options you bought, you will pay zero fees for it. Meaning if you wanted to make 20% profit on your options, there are no fees involved. And do you know the funny thing? Most option brokers play a lot of games with people. 95% of retail traders that trade on binary options, which is what we're very popular on, lose money. Nobody tells you this. A lot of people do seminars on this. Oh, come and trade this. Come and trade. You have the CFDs and all of them. Come and trade it. But nobody tells you 95% of people lose money. The people that lose money will never come out and tell you they are losing money. The 5% that are winning will make noise about it. So it now looks like the 5% is 80%. But people will lose money and go and organize seminar, sorry to say. Anyways, to make back their money. So now you have this situation, and this is because a lot of brokers play games. They are market makers. They play games with your money. But with the blockchain, this is going to happen. If I'm trading financial instrument, I'm trading directly against the user of such financial instrument. There is no third party value. There is no central monopolistic third party that is authorizing my transactions. What am I saying? Blockchain streamlines this. It secures these transactions, basically. As I said, I will focus on the OTC derivative market. Sorry, I'll go a little bit complex here, right? We all know what a derivative is. Some of us know what a derivative is, but I'm going to give a quick explanation. A derivative is simply a financial instrument whereby the value is based on the value of another asset. So let's assume I want to sell this microphone, for example, right? I can issue out a contract against this microphone. When the price of this microphone increases, the price of such contract increases. I can even issue out another contract that when the price of this microphone increases, right, the value of the contract decreases. When the price, is sort of a way to manage risk in financial institutions. We have institutions called hedge funds. These are some of the instruments mostly to hedge risk, but that's not actually what they do. That's a story for another day. Anyways, this type of market, a lot of third parties play a lot of games. They play a lot of games and make institutions, that's non-financial institutions, who use these instruments as a result of hedging market risk. They make these people lose money when they're not supposed to, increasing business costs. And of course, when the cost of a business increases, it falls down on you, the consumers, right? As the case may be. So look at this framework. We have a payer receiver. I heard someone talking about smart contracts. This is a very, very good use case scenario. In fact, this is the major use case scenario of smart contracts. Any other thing is secondary. You have a situation whereby, okay, you want to pay for this contract and the receiver. Now, this contract had some particular conditions. As I said, let me say I want to sell this microphone, right? Or I want to invest in this microphone without owning it. So this smart contract can contain the price of this microphone. You understand? I can plug it into another smart contract that maybe has the price of this clicker. But I, as a person, I know that if I buy only this microphone, I am exposed because the price of this microphone might reduce tomorrow and I lose money. But I want to put it against, mix it with 30 other commodities, right? To reduce my risk. So let's say 30 other commodities to have a balanced portfolios. Now this is, of course, this is done in a very, very, some people are using a digital manual and involves a lot of fees. But if this is done through the smart contract technology, you have zero fees on this. It reduces it. You gain your aim. Any margin obligation collateral request is fulfilled on the blockchain without a notary, as is what we have today. The notary is the blockchain is the miners, or whatever case it may be. In private blockchains, it could be a proof of stake consensus and all that, whatever the case may be. But the point is, you are eliminating third parties completely. Sorry, I'm short of time. If not, I would have loved to go deep into this. So as I said, the use case scenario in this case, you have improved clearing and settlement, improved OTC markets, reduced market manipulation, improved, okay, syndicated loans. That's what I've not talked about properly. When you want to get a loan from the bank today, I don't believe, in Nigeria especially, I don't believe the average Nigerian can walk into a bank and you have a seed business. When I say seed, the business is just starting up, we've not been operating, right? I don't believe the average businessman in Nigeria can comfortably walk into a bank and get a loan with less than 5% interest rates, unless you are a big corporation. Please, if there's anybody that have an opposing point, I'm willing to listen, but I've not seen any case like that. A lot of young people graduate, they want to start businesses, they have very, very valid business. I have seen a lot of good business ideas, funding. You understand? Why is this so? But they will borrow the jeans, money, and they go bigger. The truth is, big businesses don't create jobs. Small businesses do. Today, over 80% of jobs are created by SMEs. In Singapore, that number rises to over 90%. Big corporations will use one person to do what 10 people will do. But small businesses create these jobs in a more perfect way. So you need to build small businesses, not big corporations. Those big corporations you see at some time. You understand? So why? Because there is no loan, there is no funds for small businesses to operate. Why? Because a few institutions are controlling those funds, and they see you as a major risk. They can easily go and borrow Dangote money. They can go and borrow $10 money, but they won't give they can't lend you money at less than 10%. Even if they want to lend you, they will not give you interest rates. So a case of syndicated loans solve this problem, because why don't banks give you these loans? Because they are exposed to risk. But when the risk is shared among people, there will be more willingness. So if your business needs 20 million naira, the bank will not be willing to expose 20 million naira, right? Now, you can have 10 people, or rather 20 people that will bring 1 million naira. The risk is spread. It encourages more loans to businesses, basically. So you now have a situation whereby this syndicated loans, it currently exists. A lot of businesses do it, but this is what the blockchain will do. It will turn syndicated loans into what I call what exists as crowd funds, a proper manner, in the sense that I'm a small business, I need money. I publish a request on the blockchain. I publish this request, it's documented on the blockchain. Thousands of people, millions of people can raise 1 naira each. And instead of 20 million naira from one bank, I can get 1 naira from 20 million people. And the risk is spread. People are more willing to risk 1 naira than 20 naira once it's spread across people. And I can do my business comfortably, right? And of course, in the current model we have of syndicated loans, there is where a bank, who is usually the underwriter, just gathers maybe 4 or 5 other banks. And currently, it's being done with the blockchain too, because I think BBVA Bank, they recently organized a syndicated loan. I don't remember the name of the company, worth over $150 million. What should have taken 2 months to process took only 2 days to process. Why? Because all details of that transaction was recorded on the blockchain. So believe me, blockchain belongs to the people. It doesn't belong to the big institutions. That's why they will fight against it. It brings power back to the people. It has the potential to improve lives. Okay, a lot of people have talked about security. I'm sorry, I know we're short of time, so I'm going to go through this very fast. A lot of people have talked about security. I'm not going to go deep into that, but I'm just going to say this. Bitcoin, blockchain, per se, solved an age-long problem. Generally, not just the financial market, in every sector. But they solved this problem, I call it the Byzantine generals problem. And believe me, this is one of the reasons why if blockchain is used completely for financial transactions, it would be completely secure. Now I'm discussing about security. Now, okay, imagine 2 generals want to attack a particular city. It was gotten from, I think, a real scenario. 2 Byzantine generals wanted to attack a particular city. Now, if one of them attacks that city, right, they would lose them. But one can betray the other. Right? One can decide, okay, I don't want to let that guy go and lose. When they are going to finish killing themselves and now go and take the spoils. So how do you bring trust in such a transaction? So this has been a problem whereby some people in a consensus usually go against the consensus. So with Satoshi Nakamoto's white paper, it solved this problem. The blockchain, it solved this problem because this data is immutable. It's encrypted using a cryptography. First of all, the validation is done in a very what many people have talked about, Bitcoin mining, cryptocurrency mining. Is completely decentralized. Using any data alteration on the blockchain is easily noticed. Like you cannot sync with the general system. To put it in simple terms, I think my computer science colleagues will be able to explain that better. That makes Bitcoin a blockchain impossible to hack. For you to hack, let's say the Bitcoin blockchain, for instance, you need computing power worth over trillions of dollars. Who will do that? Why? What's the incentive? So the possibility of hack is less than 0.0009%. So basically, to summarize this, let's ask ourselves, what are we waiting for? Why are we not doing this already? Why? Can anybody, why are we not doing this? You might have different answers to that, but I have a simple answer. Because when you bring in the blockchain, a lot of third parties making money are going to be eliminated. There will be more transparency in the economy. There are people making money off lack of transparency. There are people making money because third parties are involved. So most times these institutions that kick against us, they don't care about the people. That is just the simple. That is the only explanation I can give. Proof itself to be completely immutable. So thank you very much. Let me not waste much of your time.
Thank you, sir. Thank you, Mr. Iwo. Thank you very, very much. Thank you, sir. Thank you for widening our horizon on the benefits of blockchain. Thank you. You see, this third-party thing is, I agree with you, sir, it's just too much. And we need to eliminate these third parties. Thank you for opening the benefits of the blockchain. I would like to invite our third quickly, Mr. Nathaniel Lewis, lead business development at Dash Nigeria. Mr. Nathaniel is a chief player in the blockchain space in Nigeria. He serves on the advisory boards of many remarkable fintech startups and long-established firms in Africa. He has published several international journals, articles ranging from topics like blockchain and future technology, African politics, free market, and limited government on leading web platform. He is represented by Mr. Shino from Dash Nigeria. A round of applause, please. I know you're tired. I know we are tired. Mr. Shino. Thank you for clapping.
Hello everyone. My name is Luashino. Okay. So I would like to make a quick
I see money.
Sorry, can someone tell me what this is? What's this? Huh? Paper. God bless you, bro. What's this? Anybody else?
200 naira.
200 naira.
Benny.
Okay. But this looks like paper with dead people's face on it. Am I right? Yeah. But if I give you this, you'll be able to spend it, right?
Why not?
Yeah. Doesn't it sound odd that I'm giving you paper? How does it feel? It's money. Why is it money?
That's what is acceptable in Nigeria.
Because it's generally accepted by everyone.
Yes.
Who agreed? Did you agree to it?
We met it.
Huh? Before you were upon this was what you meant, right?
Yes.
Did you agree that I want to be spending paper?
No.
Okay. Thank you.
Thank you.
So we've been talking about blockchain since morning. Blockchain. I would just like to dive a bit or go back in time a bit. So what is money actually? Because I think money actually brought about the blockchain technology, but there are much more use cases to money. But money was actually what brought it. So let's go back in time. What was actually money? Money is just like you said, anything that is generally accepted, right? And back in time, what we were using was, as far as history goes, was trade by barter, right? I have meat, you have chicken, we exchange. I have one chicken, you have a bag of rice. But if I want to exchange that, I feel cheated because the bag of rice is actually much than the chicken. There was no design value for each one. So money moved and they started using calories, salt, and all that, right? After that, it moved right to silver, and gold, right? Yeah. So and silver and gold was kind of heavy. So before you go and buy something at Aba, you have to carry like bags of silver on your car. I'm just picturing it though. Maybe put it on your donkey or something like that. You know, long journey or something. So this was how banks came into place. Now, for you to store to exchange silver, your gold bars and all that was kind of difficult, and so perhaps some smart people like, okay, let us build a place where everyone can save their silver, their gold bars, and whenever they need it, they can just come and pick it. So whenever you save your gold bars in there, they issue some kind of notes to you. Okay, when you come, you tender the notes, so you use something like retrieve your gold bars, right? So people actually found it to actually exchange and trade with the papers than the actual gold bar, right? So everybody was trading the papers, like 20 gold bars, 100 gold bars. Everybody was trading it instead of the actual gold. So gold was the one backing the paper, right? So that was how the whole paper money came into place. But then the people who set up the stores where they are selling the gold was lending the gold to in interest. So they were making money like double ways, right? So when the people who actually owned the gold bar found out that this was what the banks are doing, then all of them went back to the vote, like, okay, we need our gold. And when they opened it was empty because they've lent everything out. That was how paper money came into place. And that is how they've decided our history, our lives is now. So somebody called some people, I don't know because they don't read their identity, created a cryptocurrency called Bitcoin. So Bitcoin was what gave birth to blockchain. The technology behind Bitcoin is one called blockchain, and this is it's very simple technology actually. In terms, everybody here, you want a computer, right? And let's say picture it something like Google Docs, right? So if I type something on Google Docs, we're all connected to the same document. If I type something on Google Docs, everybody sees that somebody cleared something, right? So it's if I edit or write, let's say I write dash, everybody sees dash, right? If I clear it off, everybody sees that somebody cleared it off. So, but blockchain is something like that, but it works differently. Like anything you put into it can't be erased. So it's like the most fascinating tech I've ever seen so far, because you can literally do anything, voting and all that and everything. So why do we need cryptocurrency? This is the age we are. I don't think cash now. In China, they don't spend cash anymore. There are kids in China that have not seen cash in their life. All they know is just digital transfer. They send from phone around this. The age we are in, we're in the internet age where almost everybody here has a smartphone and everything. So why are we still spending cash? So why do we need cryptocurrency? Separation of money and state. So imagine some old men just let's ruin these people's future now. Let's devalue this money now. So they make politics and they play games with our money. I watched a clip. There was a man in Zimbabwe. The man was crying in the interview, and I felt for him. Like, he has been working all his days of his youth. He saved money in the banks and all that, and the Zimbabwe dollars just crumbled. I think they have $1 trillion note. Zimbabwe, you can buy a egg in Zimbabwe. You have to carry like a bag of money to buy just one egg in Zimbabwe. I hope Nigeria does not get to that place in Jesus' name. So, when people start playing politics and money, they should be two different things. But when they start playing politics with money, it's a very dangerous thing. So why we need cryptocurrencies we need separation of money and state. I should be able to own my own money I should be able to be my own bank, right? Nobody should be able to just wake up and just say, okay. Just 4 years ago, Naira was around 150. 5 years ago, it was around 150. Today it's around 360. In the next 4 years, we might be seeing 700. I'm seeing a geometric progression if you are following this now. So, borderless transactions. I have friends in China, I have friends in Canada, I have friends in South Africa. I think I have friends in Thailand. I have friends in quite a number of places. I play PUBG. It's an online game. I play it almost every 5 days. I play games with people all around the world. We chat. I can send a chat to them in seconds. But for me to send money to that same person through the traditional means, through the Western Union and the MoneyGram, it takes 3 days and they charge me ridiculous. And like, why? Have you ever thought of it? Why? It's like we're in the internet age. There should be there's a need for a sort of money like I can send. You receive it instantly. Financial privacy. I remember when I lost my dad and I got his pension money and all that. So the money entered my account, the bank froze my money. They froze my account. So I went to the bank. What was happening? They said they are suspecting some illegal something that my Yahoo brought. Before the money entered my account, he didn't ask me all these questions. Now why asking me all these questions? So they took me into the room, started questioning me and all that. Why? What's this? Okay. They said I should go and do some police report, bring all these death certificates, everything. I brought it. Then they started asking me, okay, how did I get it? Why are you asking me these questions? It is my money, right? Before you can open a bank account, you have to be up to 18. But you can buy a phone at 14. Think about it. These are ridiculous things that happen in our world, right? So lower fees in international transactions. So use Western Union, I think you'll be charged about $20 to send just $200. That's 10% or something. That's ridiculous. Why? There is a need for us to be able to send money easy, cheap. This is why we need cryptocurrencies. So instant payments regardless of distance. I should be able to send money to somebody. Imagine me playing PUBG with my friend in Indonesia and says, okay, well, probably his family down or something. Can you just lend me some money? Alright, send me your Dash address and I tip in come. I've gotten it, thanks buddy. But to use the normal tradition, I'll first go to the bank, keep for like 52 minutes and they start asking me questions. Who do you know in Indonesia? And all these things. You understand? So these are retarded things that happen right now. Global acceptance. If you are traveling to, I think I went to, the country I've traveled to was Nigeria Republic for excursion or something like that. So why are you guys laughing? So, but from the tales I've heard from people who have traveled out of the country, your naira in other countries are useless. So when you get to other countries, you have to change it to the currency there. If you're going to another country, I think only currency there is accepted worldwide. But your naira, as long as you step out of this country, it's useless. Why is that? That's serious. So Dash. Actually, Bitcoin was the first cryptocurrency that was created by that started on but Bitcoin is actually the most blockchain cryptocurrency. To be honest, it's actually the most robust, very robust network. But Bitcoin has some flaws. Bitcoin was created for me and I need to be able to transact. If you are selling shoes and I buy shoes from you, I should be able to pay in Bitcoin, right? But Bitcoin has some flaws, and let me just mention a few. Transaction time. If I walk into your store, I'm trying to purchase a pair of sneakers from you, and I send you some Bitcoins, it takes about 10 to 6 minutes for you to confirm. And before you let me go, you have to see confirmation like I've received it right now. So I don't have 6 to 10 minutes to wait. You don't have 6 or 10 minutes to be waiting for. Even sometimes, I know banks are pretty slow, but sometimes bank alerts may take 4 or 5 minutes or something like that. But nobody has the time to be waiting 6 to 7. So some group of people came together and developed a new cryptocurrency code, but they improved all its flaws, and that's so the primary focus should be on adoption. So how many of you have Bitcoin there? Can you just see your hands up? If you want any portion, even if it's $1, just 4 hands. Really? 1, 5. Okay. So have any of you purchased anything using Bitcoin before? So what did you buy? What did you buy with Bitcoin? Online game. Alright, okay. Like, have you bought anything within Nigeria before with Bitcoin? That's right. So everybody, we are shouting Bitcoin on my WhatsApp. status, everything I practically see from my crypto friends are buy Bitcoin in 2 years time is going to be 10.
Secure tools for easy transactions of multiple digital currencies. He has worked extensively on various successful blockchain projects in Nigeria and around the world. Let's make welcome Mr. Lucky Uwade. Mr. Lucky Uwakwe. He's speaking on digital currency markets in Africa.
A round of applause, please. Thank you very much.
Mr. Lucky.
Mr. Lucky Uwakwe. Is he here?
Okay, let's jam our hands together for Mr. Lucky as he comes forward. Please remember that your questions, just keep them down. Yes. We'll be taking all the questions together with the panel session. We'll just have that panel session afterwards and we'll be done. Jam your hands together again for Mr. Lucky.
Okay, I will be taking a very quick one. I intend to be as fast as INEC, and all right, thanks. So, by the way, like I always say, during my presentation, my slide was not prepared by me, so don't blame me. All right. If by the end of my presentation is not interesting enough, blame my personal assistant. She prepared the slide. All right. But if by the end of my presentation and is interesting enough for you, thank me and my assistant. All right. So can I get it? I'll be talking about the impact of digital currency with this. My name is Lucky, and I've been quite involved in this space for a long time. Who helped the Central Bank of Nigeria understand the importance of digital currency and blockchain technology way back in 2016 when they were kicking against the MMM thing. So I know there are quite some persons here who probably must have seen me major events, including the ones within and outside Africa, helping also the Kenyan team back then in the early days when they set up the blockchain and AI. Team set up the blockchain and AI committee. Back then, we've seen quite a lot of works in South Africa with the project COCA, but we hope that our country, Nigeria, will also move in the same line, just like Kenya, to achieve much more lasting impact. But one thing I would say is that in Africa, is the slide ready? One thing I would say is that in Africa, a lot of participation as regards to blockchain technology have been more focused around digital currency. That's the truth. All right, and it has really have some huge impact as regards to what we do on a day-to-day basis. You must know that the level of market share right now within the African space is so huge that the volume of transactions carried out by Nigerians or Africans is far much more than some state budgets per month in the country. I remember in 2016, one of the first reports I wrote about the volume of transactions done within the Nigerian space was somewhere around 24 million, I think, naira per month. This was like in 2016. But fast forward 1 year later, the next report I wrote showed that Nigeria was doing over 1 billion naira. Now, the latest report about what we do per month will be so shocking, and some of us will wonder why is it that the authorities have not really taken note of this space. To that end, I will be speaking a little bit about the impacts, trying to wrap it around cybersecurity and the effects of what that could do. Also considering to our country, because I know quite a lot of times we've seen foreign-based exchange providing services for the Nigerian ecosystem. All the time you hear something about an exchange has been hacked, or an exchange just suddenly blocks someone's account, and whenever they block your account, it's more like that's permanent. You can't do anything about it. How I wish that whenever they block our account, we can walk into their office or approach them and then drop our complaint as easy as we can. And also, I remember that the Economic and Financial Crime Committee is always looking for ways to ensure they weed out bad players. So we hope that with this, we would get to know or learn something new. Now, the part of my slide will just be focused about what's blockchain. Maybe I think a lot of persons must have explained a little bit about blockchain and all those stuff. I would just focus it as simply a technology utilizing cryptography, ensuring that records are kept together and no one can tamper or change the record without the permission of everybody. Recently we saw that there are different kinds of distributed ledger technology. You must note, you must have this at the back of your mind that blockchain technology is not the only distributed ledger technology out there. It's just that it's the most used distributed ledger technology. Whenever they say blockchain, people think like that's even the main thing. I think it's like a subset of a thing. All right, distributed ledger technology of different type, but blockchain is the one that most persons tend to focus their attentions to. So it's just simply records utilizing some form of cryptography. And I must let us know this: cryptography have been there long before the thing about Bitcoin or crypto or blockchain. We've been using cryptography as far back as World War I, World War II, and all that. But before I even talk about World War I, I think our parents have been using cryptography long enough. Did you ever grow up in such homes whereby the neighbor will come around, the time they present cola to that neighbor, that's the time the child wants to misbehave, and maybe the neighbor will be like, Junior, why don't you join me and eat? The mom will be like, Junior, are you sure you really want to eat? You know, so it's like a way of trying to communicate the information to the child from the mother without know the intentions of between the child and herself. So that's still cryptography in a way, because it's all about encrypting message and not letting the other party know what it is. That's just a very simple definition. But fast forward down the line, we now begin to use that technique for something that is much more advanced. So that's what it is. And it presents a lot of challenges and opportunities. What are the challenges? I remember sometimes in 2017, the Federal Inland Revenue Service, the IRS, sorry, I think the FIRS, I think that's what we use here. The FIRS said, how can we be able to tax guys who are more actively involved in this space? Is it possible that we could tax them? Is it possible that we don't lose funds and incentive and all of that? But I know the crypto community guys will be like, Lucky, if you ever explain the way to which they can tax people who are doing crypto, we'll hold you responsible for our money. So I've decided not to talk anything about it until further notice. So what are the challenges? What are the opportunities? On my slide right there, you could see that on a weekly basis, Nigeria as a country, so I'm going to take it a little bit, streamline it lower because of the audience here in Nigeria. Nigeria as a country is doing nothing less than $2.1 billion naira every week. And I know there are some states in this country whose monthly budget might not be up to 4 times that figure. All right. So if our country as a whole is doing around 2.1 billion every week, and these figures courtesy of the ones that were provided for us, because we had reached out to some of the major players, including Remitano, Paxful, Local Bitcoin, Sabi, which I represent, by the way, and a lot of them. The data they have provided for us show that this is the equivalence of what they do when it comes in Naira every week. I asked the question, if we could do this every week, then how much more about the ones that we can't even see, or the ones that go under the carpet? There are people who don't like to do things online. They want peer-to-peer, like physically. They see me, I see you, like the Yoruba brothers in Ibadan. All right? So I know the people in Ibadan like it when they want to pay your shop. Oh, let me come there, give you the money, you give me the Bitcoin, and I'm good. They like it that way. So that's quite a huge market too. That most data is not even, data around that region is not even covered. I feel, for me as a person, when I go and hear the stories around what is happening in the extreme north as regards to crypto, I might be of the opinion to say that the volume of transactions done in places like states in Ibadan or your Ibadan might be almost the equivalence of what people in Lagos are doing, and you might be shocked if you go deep to find out more about that. But if the volume of transactions done monthly on a weekly basis is around 2.1 billion, some of the challenge we faced is that people have issues about quite a lot of Nigerians. Only recently, one of the known exchanges around the country had locked accounts of Nigerians, and people lost money. The impact of what this thing have done to them is so devastating that till this very day, they're trying to and open up the accounts of these users. But whenever this thing happens, it's almost like you don't even have a say anymore. You can't even do any. Guys who reported them to the central bank. Then the central bank called me and said a case about some Nigerians who complained that their accounts were locked in a particular exchange. Lucky, these are your people, or this is your field. How can we walk around this and help them recover all these assets? Because for them, they said it was a lifetime saving. Some they said it's more like borrowed money or borrowed income, and it's so crazy. We've also had instances of maybe some accounts of some people, they just get frozen because maybe you break the law governing a particular exchange. Maybe you don't want somebody to open an account with the same IP for 2 different persons. They just close your account and that's it. So these things are really quite devastating, especially for our Nigerian community. Unlike in other climates, when things like that happen, you can easily report to the government or some other constituted authorities. But here, it's almost like the authorities might not be up to date with things. And even though I know quite a lot of them this day, they're trying and to be up to the game, it's still almost like they can't help out when something like that happens. We've had issues about delay confirmation, hackers, which is still something I really want to focus a little bit in this my presentation, because I know I have 20 minutes. And please, once it's 20 minutes, just clap so that I will know it's my time to just leave the stage. But 10 minutes already. So if it's 10 minutes, once it's time, you clap, and I know I'll leave the stage. So I won't feel bad, like whether the presentation wasn't good enough. I'll just feel like, maybe they enjoyed it, that's why they're clapping. And in your mind, you already know why you're clapping. All right. So So we have limited number of coins, multiple accounts opening and all that. Now, another challenge that the people, the impact of what the space is really doing to our people within the country is that due to multiple accounts opening by different exchange, people are now a lot of cybersecurity issue. I remember one of the presenters who came on stage, one of the panelists, if you could reduce the number of people involved, you could reduce the attack. If you could reduce the number of process that is involved, you would most likely reduce the attack. An average African or an average Nigerian have at least between 2-3 different kind of exchange to enable them transact successfully between going from cash to crypto and back to cash. Like it's almost like everywhere. If you ask, if I do a major or a basic survey right now, there's a tendency that most persons have at least 2 or 3 different kind of accounts from multiple exchange. Why do we have to do that? It's just crazy. All right. Now this chart is a recent one. I just got the data barely last week, and it showed that for this particular month of August, like we just rounded off August, I think today, for this particular month, the data that was uploaded right now showed that Nigeria as a country is doing around 7.8 billion naira every month. This is quite alarming and it's quite huge. Imagine the impact of what this will be if if attackers take advantage of this particular space. It means what they are attacking is not just a 1 billion naira industry. They are attacking a market with a capacity of doing around 7.8 billion naira, which I think, I'm just trying to be conservative with this figure, it's quite much more than this. This for everybody is something that should bring concern both to the who use different passwords for different things. People are fond of opening up multiple accounts in multiple places using almost similar or same password. I remember there was this social security hack video that was played earlier in the morning where people were giving out their password without even realizing. It's also similar when it comes to crypto participation. A lot of persons utilize almost similar accounts or similar password for multiple things. So we hope that you can reduce the way to which you open up quite a lot of these accounts in multiple platforms. Maybe try and look for those platforms where you could conserve or reduce participations from one place to another. And we hope that that's what you do also with Sabi. All right. Sorry, I'm trying to move my. Okay. Now, this a survey that was provided by the Federal Allocation. Federal Account Allocation Committee, the FAC, and we realized that we were trying to be conservative in terms of picking figures or picking data. It showed this figure was for Ogun State. I think Ogun is still one of the most vibrant states within the country. I picked that in comparison to show what other states is doing in relation to what the crypto is. Ogun will not be far from the likes of Lagos, Port Harcourt, and Kano with Abuja when it comes to economic activity. So with this, it showed that even the people within the crypto community, they are doing far much more than what Ogun State will do in terms of the revenue they get from the federal allocation, which is quite huge. But with it, it's more like they're dusting it. I know on a day-to-day transaction within the exchanges like Binance, they do much more than what the Nigerian budget will be for an entire year. What the transaction volume Binance will do for a month is far more than what the Nigerian budget will be for an entire year. All right. Because I know my time is almost up. I got the signal earlier. I would just quickly say a little thing about Sabi. So what we decide to do is, because of this issue about cybersecurity threat and the disadvantage in the course of trying to engage or participate in the blockchain space through cryptocurrencies, we decide to reduce the number of threats or possibilities creating multiple accounts in multiple places for at the same time. We decide to make it possible for a father to sign up an account or create an account in Sabi, and he can create a sub account for their children in the same platform. They don't have to expose their themselves too much to this online thing. Just easily create quite a lot of multiple accounts and do some of those things, and also reduce the possibility or chance of having to save multiple passwords because of going from crypto to cash, from cash back to crypto. The impact of what you would face if you lose out your original assets will be so devastating for anybody. I hope the experience for most persons is not such that we hope that somebody else will pass through something of that nature. So we made it so easy and convenient for people that you don't have to go out of that place. Why can't we just come, do something in one place, achieve all the entire process of anything about crypto exchange, and then we'll leave and we're good. So I don't have to go from one exchange to another before I can achieve the final result. That's what we just did, and reduce that quite a lot, just to help for the security related stuff. And now it's also important to note that so long as you're living on planet Earth, no matter what you do online, you're never 100% guaranteed. All right? And you should also remember this, if there's anything you should take home today. Anything free from the internet has been paid for. Hello? Anything free from the internet has been paid for. It's either you're paying it with your data, or you're paying it your privacy, or somebody else must have paid for that cost. So there is nothing as free on the internet. So you should have that at the back of your mind. And part of what we decide to do too, again in Sabi, is to ensure that so many of those risks that might come up from cybersecurity threats will have now been insured by Sabi in such a manner that whatever digital asset, as most Nigerians who might be exposed to high level of risk, courtesy of utilizing multiple platforms and exposing themselves to cybersecurity threat, that the platform is now ensured that for every asset there, whatever loss that might be incurred as a result of cybersecurity threats will be paid back courtesy of the platform. There's something we decide to do with Safe Asset Back Fund, and then we decide to insure it with some of the best insurance company in places like Singapore. But we're originally a local brand, and because of technology deficiency, we decided to put up our infrastructures in 3 regions in Nigeria, China, and Singapore at the same time. So it's just simply this. I'm just trying to quickly deviate a little and then wrap up by the end of the day. So it's just simply making it possible for people who are more comfortable using Naira to trade as a local person, having the opportunity to also trade over 200 cryptocurrencies in the same platform, and those who want to take the risk of margin, because margin bring quite a lot of risk for those persons who are good with it, and also high profit in the same manner. So, but I'm just going to quickly do a rundown of what we have done in comparison to most foreign-based exchange. Because of this threat, because of this constant cybersecurity threat people face right now in the country, we decide to carve out a niche for ourselves to help reduce that risk as much as we can. So no more a case of I'm a Nigerian, I have to take unnecessary risk from foreign-based exchange when I know fully well that if anything happened, I'm not even either I'm not insured, or even if I'm insured, I have to wait till whenever they're ready to resolve the issue. I can't even walk up to them because they are probably located in a faraway country. So it's no longer the case. So what we decide to do is we provided the same services as they would have provided for most Nigerians right here in the local community, making it possible for whether first level entry or second level entry exchange. By the way, a first level entry exchange is an exchange where you can trade between your local cash with crypto, and a second level entry exchange is an exchange where you trade crypto to crypto. And I think the risk is more with the second level entry exchange per se. We kind of reduce quite a lot of that and then bring everything under one roof. So just to wrap it up, while I leave the stage, I would always tell everybody this, that definitely not forever. It's something that would always come and go. There's a difference between currency and money. So long as so long as there is value being exchanged right now online, there will be continuous threat to cybersecurity from hackers through cybersecurity means. So we must learn to protect ourselves against these impacts because it will be so devastating. I know one of the challenges I had back then in 2016, the Central Bank of Nigeria, is that their fear is that what if these people shut down and they go? Because in their mind, they think cryptocurrency is about something, technology owned by one guy who could just plug off the switch somewhere and turn it back on. So